Close your eyes and imagine this. You dive into the ocean and take a deep breath. Not of air trapped in a tank, of water. And instead of drowning, your lungs extract oxygen directly from the sea, just like a fish. You can swim for hours, days, even permanently, breathing water as naturally as you breathe air right now. What would that do to you? To the human body? To civilization itself? Let us explore what would happen if humans could actually breathe underwater, because the consequences are far wilder than you think. First, let us talk about the biology. Because this is not as far-fetched as it sounds. Your lungs already do most of what fish gills do. They extract dissolved oxygen from a medium and transfer it into your bloodstream. The problem is that water contains roughly 30 times less oxygen per liter than air does. Fish compensate for this with gills, which are extraordinarily efficient, extracting up to 80% of dissolved oxygen as water passes over them. Your lungs extract only about 25% of the oxygen in the air you breathe. So hypothetically, if your lungs were restructured to be as efficient as gills, and if the alveolar surface area were dramatically increased, and if the mucous membranes could handle continuous water flow without collapsing, you could, theoretically, extract enough dissolved oxygen from water to survive. Scientists have actually tested this in a limited way. In the 1960s, researchers submerged mice and dogs in oxygenated perfluorocarbon liquid, a special fluid that dissolves enormous quantities of oxygen. The animals breathed the liquid and survived. It was uncomfortable and there were complications, but the basic principle worked. Liquid breathing is real. Now, assuming you could breathe water as easily as air, your world transforms overnight. The first and most obvious change is exploration. 71% of Earth's surface is ocean. Right now, it is essentially inaccessible to humans without expensive, dangerous, time-limited technology. Submarines, scuba tanks, pressurized diving suits, all of it becomes unnecessary. You could simply swim down and look around. The continental shelves, which extend from coastlines to depths of about 600 feet, would become the new frontier of human settlement. These areas are shallow enough to receive sunlight, warm enough to be comfortable, and rich with marine life. Imagine cities built on the ocean floor, domed structures surrounded by coral gardens and schools of fish, with residents who simply swim out their front door into a three-dimensional world of blue. Agriculture would be revolutionized. Underwater farming of kelp, seaweed, and shellfish already exists on a small scale. With humans able to breathe underwater, it could expand to feed billions. Kelp grows up to 2 feet per day and absorbs enormous amounts of carbon dioxide. Underwater kelp forests could simultaneously feed the world and fight climate change. Mining would change too. The ocean floor is littered with polymetallic nodules, potato-sized rocks containing manganese, nickel, cobalt, and rare earth elements worth trillions of dollars. Currently, deep-sea mining is prohibitively difficult and environmentally controversial. But if humans could work directly on the ocean floor, the economics change completely. Your body itself would adapt in interesting ways. Spending extended time underwater, your skin would likely develop new properties. Increased mucus production to reduce friction, enhanced blood circulation to extremities to prevent hypothermia in cold water. Your eyes would need to adapt to seeing clearly underwater, possibly developing a more spherical lens like marine mammals. Over generations, water-breathing humans might look noticeably different from their surface-dwelling cousins. But here is where it gets politically fascinating. Who owns the ocean? Right now, international law under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea gives nations control over waters extending 200 nautical miles from their coastlines. Beyond that, the open ocean is technically international territory. But if people could live there? If nations could build permanent settlements on the deep ocean floor? The scramble for ocean territory would make the colonial era look quaint. Wars could be fought over seamounts, hydrothermal vent fields, and underwater mountain ranges that currently have no strategic value whatsoever. The military implications are staggering. Armies that could breathe underwater would be virtually undetectable. Submarines are already the most feared weapons in naval warfare because of their stealth. Now imagine thousands of individual soldiers approaching an enemy coastline underwater, completely invisible to radar, satellite, and conventional surveillance. Coastal defense would become almost impossible. Warfare would go three-dimensional in a way we have never experienced. And the culture would be magnificent. Art created to be viewed underwater, where light filters through water and creates ever-shifting patterns. Music designed to be heard through water, where sound travels 4 times faster than in air and low frequencies carry for hundreds of miles. Dance performed in 3 dimensions, freed from gravity, where a human body can move in ways impossible on land. Sports where athletes compete in a true 3-dimensional arena, swimming up, down, and in every direction. The human experience would expand in ways we can barely imagine. But perhaps the most profound change would be psychological. For our entire existence as a species, the ocean has been the other, the alien world, the barrier, the unknown. If we could breathe underwater, that barrier dissolves. We would finally know our own planet. We would finally be at home on 71% of Earth's surface instead of 29%. We would stop being land animals who occasionally visit the sea and become what we were perhaps always meant to be, creatures of both worlds. If you want to keep imagining impossible futures that might not be so impossible after all, subscribe. We have got plenty more